I got the new Vegeta figure. I'm so excited to open up this thing. I've been waiting to check this one out for a long time now. This is Dangerous Pride Vegeta. Let me get that out of the way. Today we're going to see if this is actually one of the best Vegetas out there. We're going to go over the articulation, the sculpt, the features, and I'm going to be testing it with multiple head sculpts to see what fits best on this body because the neck peg is different. So let's get started. In my last video, somebody suggested that I use the superhero Vegeta body for the Ultra Ego head sculpts, and I did, and it looks so good. So honestly, there are things to like about the old 2.0 Vegeta, but now it's time that we bring Vegeta into the modern era of SH figure art so that we can have a new standard for Vegeta. And that's what this is, the new standard. This has the updated articulation, and it also comes with a decent amount of accessories. I'm hoping that this body will be good enough to be the standard for other figures, especially a base Vegeta, proper one with a proper head sculpt, because I'm tired of getting the regular same old Vegetas. It's time we move into the future and ditch that 2.0 body. I'm ready to open this figure. Let's open it up. So here we have 3 examples of official SH figure art releases that did it right and then did it wrong. These are the ones that I mainly use. But let's start with the superhero Vegeta. What I like about this release, aesthetically, it's a little bit better in the body department. The face is terrible, but they did improve the ab crunch a bit. Specifically this part right here, they did a good job at like hiding potential gaps. Plus he has a little bit more range and he's able to move a lot more freely than a regular 2.0. For the Super Saiyan Blue, these are some of the best faces. My issue is that they still have the 2.0 body. One of the things that I do not like about the 2.0 body are the biceps. I don't like the biceps. The deltoid is this part and it attaches to the bicep. That's this part, this deltoid muscle. It sits on top of the bicep, giving it this really weird looking ball shape. And I've never liked that. As soon as they started revisiting the arm model, they came up with this design that is so good, where the deltoid muscle connects into the bicep muscle, creating this really aesthetically pleasing design, just like in the anime, where it goes into the muscle as opposed to sitting on top of it. If we go into the 24,000 Vegeta, that one still has the 2.0 body design, but it looks aesthetically better because of the armor, and the faces look amazing, but the ab crunch is terrible. You can see it for yourself. That's the ab crunch. Tamashii Nations has this thing where they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And don't even get me started on this one. Let's put these away. And it's time to open this one. I've been waiting months for this. How do you guys open your boxes? I've seen a lot of people open it from this side, but I like to open it from this side. Yes, these new boxes have been looking like they have been left out in the sun. As you can see, I've imported this from China. Let me compare it with the other boxes. Excuse me, it's a revamp of the old box and it's the same design. But enough about this one. Let's get into the new Super Vegeta. Before I show it to you guys, I have to scan it with my glasses. Yeah, you guys have no idea how long I've been waiting for a proper face sculpt for Vegeta. I thought that the Tonson Super Saiyan Vegeta faces are just terrible. The hair is just too big for the face is just too small. So I'm very happy that we finally get a proper Super Saiyan head sculpt. Everything is just proportionate. The hair looks great. The faces are a decent size compared to the hair, and the eyes are finally fixed. I'm looking at these from far away. The screaming face looks great. We get 5 sets of hands, including the wrists, another hair, a cross-armed accessory, 3 faces on the side and 1 that's already on the hair, and then we get this new pair of shoes. Tamashii never gives you extra shoes. This one has the Cell Saga shoes that you can swap out with the earlier Android Saga shoes. And it's the first time we've ever gotten these shoes on this style of armor for Vegeta, right? If I'm wrong, correct me. So we get 4 face sculpts with this Vegeta. We have the regular cocky Vegeta. This is like his first time becoming a Super Saiyan and his ego is already through the roof. I guess you could say he has an ultra ego. Anyway, then there's serious Vegeta. We have the teeth greeting Vegeta, and then we have the screaming face Vegeta. And they do such a good job at the sculpting now. Somebody at Tamashii Nations has a mole. Something happened within the last year that they decided to revamp their whole production and give us incredibly well done faces. This being one of them. This attention to detail is phenomenal. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not. One of the things that I have an issue with is that the faces look amazing. There's a slight thing that's happening with the eyes where they're just slightly far apart. Another thing is that the jaw is just slightly too angled. It does give him like a skinnier face. The Majin Vegeta sculpt, it has a fuller chin compared to this Vegeta, which has a more chiseled chin. Literal nitpicks, because this is already a great looking figure. And then we get to this part right here. You get an extra pair of shoes. shoes. I think that's very, very smart for them to do. They're basically giving us an incentive to buy 2 figures so that you can have one of each. And I think that's very smart in terms of marketing. And it's also to capture the people who are so into consumerism that they're willing to buy 2 just so they can have both versions. They target it to me. I got 2 versions so I can have both versions. Just give us more things to swap out. We like swapping things out. This hair sculpt, it looks amazing. I love a good dynamic hair. I jumped ahead and I tested it out because Made in Vietnam is a trigger for me. I cannot use the Games Begin flowing hair because the face pegs don't fit. So I needed to check that it wasn't going to be an issue with this Vegeta, and so far it isn't. This is how Vegeta's hair should look in a 3-dimensional form. Not like Tonson. I don't like the Tonson hair. It's so big. Anyway, and then we have this cross-armed accessory, and it's basically the same as Daima's. I think this should come with every single Vegeta figure by default, but this one, unlike Daima's, is a lot beefier. For the hands, we have the updated hands, which are so much better than the ones from the previous version. We have a set of Ki Blast hands, fighting stance hands, the big bang hands, and then we have the regular fists. Let's take this out and see what it feels like. This is a really great yellow. The thing about the shading is that it is exclusive to just the front. I love the tones of yellow that were used for the shading down here. I'm gonna test the articulation. That's one of the main things that I'm looking for. This ab crunch is interesting. I think it's a variation of the Diamond ab crunch. It's not soft plastic anymore. That's going to be interesting to find out how that's going to restrict the movement. Let me start with the arms. So we have 360 movement for the arms. Bicep swivel, everything seems to be fine. I've heard that people have had quality control issues with this one. The bicep swivel seems to be doing fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's loose for now. Double jointed elbow. That's the limit for the double jointed elbow. Then we have the wrists. Let's check out the butterfly joints. He has the drop down joint like in the Games Begin. Let's see if that can help with the range. The hard plastic is limiting a lot of the movement. What was that? James? That's not supposed to happen. This is popping out. If the arms do go up, or if you move it in a way that it pushes up to that strap, it pushes it out of the socket. You guys need to change factories. Whatever happened to the China factory? Let's look up. The Majin Vegeta figure fixed a problem that this Vegeta had. The neck range for looking up is severely restricted because of the hair. You're telling me a third-party company can fix that, but you guys can't? Yeah, look at the range for the Majin Vegeta, a third-party figure, as opposed to an official release. This neck barely moves. It moves in a way where it doesn't really provide any improvement for the range. All right, so let's go to the ab crunch. It does give you really good range for going up. Now let's go down. All right, so that is decent. And this is soft plastic still, so that's able to open up the range a lot more. It's incredible how much range you can get with a soft pelvis. Now let's go into the legs. Let's kick up. Yeah, that's a really good kick. And let's point this foot. That's a really good pointed toe. And then we have the double jointed knee. You get a little bit more range in the bend of the knee here. And then we go back. Yeah, because of the soft plastic, you're able to have more movement. Can he do the splits? Yes, he can do the splits. This has a very good ankle swivel. That's good so far, and he's pretty tiny. So now that we got the articulation out of the way, let's compare it to other Vegeta models to see how it measures up against them. All right, so here we have 5 figures lined up. Superhero Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan, Dangerous Pride Vegeta, Games Begin Goku body with the Super Saiyan 2 DKO head. Then we have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So Dangerous Pride Vegeta is a short figure. Now, between Superhero Vegeta and Dangerous Pride Vegeta, they're about the same height, but Superhero Vegeta, his hair is a lot shorter. Aesthetically, I think Dangerous Pride is a lot better looking. I do like how elongated the older Vegetas were. Comparing him to the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, I think this is where they started to pick up on the notion that Vegeta is short. It's about the same proportion. So he did get a little bit shorter. Obviously, the torso is slightly longer in the Vegeta Blue than it is on the Dangerous Pride. That gives it a little bit more of a lengthy look, but they're still the same size. The downside about Vegeta Blue is that the hair is just too small, and that's always been a thing that I felt about the Super Saiyan Blue one. I love the proportions that the Dangerous Pride has on the hair. This one would be a great one to custom paint into a Super Saiyan Blue if you're not willing to wait for the 2 years that we're probably gonna have to wait for to get a Super Saiyan Blue. Okay, so let's take him out. It has a few things I like. I love the hair, the metallic sheen. I love this tone. If we could get this into that one, that would be great. This old sculpting, I'm so glad that we've moved on past this. The pupils are so small. It looks like a toy version of a Vegeta. The face looks really flat. Not only that, the eyes are my biggest complaint here because the pupils are so tiny. There's no need for the pupils to be this tiny. They weren't getting the sculpting right. Between the old Vegeta and the new one, the new Vegeta knocks this one out of the park. 100%. It's like night and day. Now that we've gotten this out of the way, let's jump in to see which heads can fit the new Dangerous Pride body, because that is going to be important. All right, so let's figure that out. So here we have Dangerous Pride Vegeta with 5 heads. We're gonna try to see what we can do to get them to fit. I'm assuming that this is gonna have the Games Begin neck peg. Let's take off the head and see what we're dealing with. Let's pop this out. Oh, that's so big. Let's see what we can do with this, because this is definitely going to be a smaller peg than the old 2.0. Let's try Blue Vegeta. Yeah, even if you get it to fit, it sits too high. This is a very interesting neck peg. It is smaller than the neck peg for the 2.0 head. The peg hole and the head are way too big for this body. He looks like a Funko Pop. If we had a base Vegeta with this body sculpt, it would look amazing. It sits too high up on the neck. The face sculpt isn't even that good, so I wouldn't even want to use this. It's a very loose fit. These are the ones that I wanted to try, the Ultra Ego ones. And I'm nervous because I'm positive they're not going to fit. So let's try it anyway. This is the recustom head. Okay, so that one did fit. The head is so big. I don't think this is going to work with this one. The recustom one is not the one I would use for this body at all. This one is the one that I was really looking forward to using on this body. I'm sure this would look great, but this neck peg, we're going to have to get rid of it. All right, so let's see. This is my kit. So today I'm going to teach you guys about Blu Tack. What I found is that the 3.0 to Daima Goku neck peg, if you have a 3.0 figure, Superhero Gohan, Legendary Super Saiyan Goku, anything around that uses like a skinnier neck peg like this one is probably going to work. The thing is that I don't have anything readily available that will fit a lot of the heads that I have. I'm not trying to use a lot, but you do have to warm it up. You can get this for about $6. I can link it down below in case you guys are interested. You can get it at Home Depot, any hardware store. Museum Putty is also good for this. Blu Tack is a little bit more sticky for these type of things. I would prefer to use Museum Putty because it's less sticky. I'm going to use it with paper. Let me show you how I'm planning on doing that. Take this paper, I'm going to cut a little piece of it. I'm going to stick it onto the paper. And then I'm going to take this Vegeta and we're going to stick it like that. Then you're going to grab the head that you're looking for. In this case, I'm going to use the Ultra Ego head. I'm going to push it in. There you go. Oh my gosh, it fits. It fits. It's not the tightest fit, but it's enough. There we go. And now we're able to add more variety to this Vegeta. Looking at it with the new body, there's a slight difference in color between the neck and the face. But honestly, it's not that noticeable because half of the neck is covered anyway. The range for this figure specifically is so much better than the 2.0. You can get much more dynamic poses with this body, especially with this leg range. Yeah, this is good. Let's see if this little fix can be applied over to another head. I'm gonna use the Super Saiyan Blue head. This looks good. This looks good. I don't know if this is technically something that I would want to have in the long run, but it's definitely good for now. I'm not a fan of this face. It would look great if we had a base Vegeta. And then finally we have this recustom Ultra Ego Vegeta. I still don't like how big this head looks compared to the body. It's not the head I would use, but it doesn't look too bad. I can get past the big head. I like the Aaron OQ version better. And if you guys want to see a proper in-depth comparison between the recustom and the Aaron OQ version, you can click on this banner right here and it'll take you to that video. This body looks amazing with the Ultra Ego Vegeta. This one would work great with a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here on the Daima body, and the Daima body is basically the same. It's just less bulky. Let's remove this. Let's see if this one is a perfect fit. There we go. It fits. Oh my God. The head's a little bit heavy for this neck, but he looks great on this body. Yeah, this looks amazing. Now that we've gotten that out of the way and I'm not stressed out anymore, let's get to my favorite part of the video, which is the posing. All right, final thoughts. Overall, I think Dangerous Pride is a fantastic Vegeta figure. There are definitely a few issues with it. It's not a perfect figure, but honestly, I think the positives outweigh the negative by a lot. Like, the body itself is amazing. This is actually one of the best Vegeta bodies out there for any figure. I think the proportions are great. Tamashii Nations has finally reached a point where they're able to capture the anime essence and transfer it over to 3D. So that's something that we are witnessing now. This is the renaissance of Tamashii, and I'm so glad that they're putting their foot into these designs. This is something that I would gladly pay for over and over, and I have, and I did. So are there things that could be improved? Absolutely. For example, this hard plastic needs to be changed to soft plastic. Vietnam factory needs to be dropped completely. We need to go back to China. I lift up the arms and these start to pop out. Now, I would understand if it was a third-party company. These type of quality issues are unacceptable, especially from a company as big as Bandai and Tamashii Nations. I've also heard some people have issues with the bicep swivel. I know the Games Begin Goku had a lot of issues like that as well. I certainly had a lot of issues like that. This version specifically seems to be pretty solid for me. I think the biggest issue so far is the neck peg. The neck peg is completely different to the Games Begin, so anything that we had or anything that could be used is completely unusable for this one. If you're planning on head swapping for this figure, you need to get creative because it's going to be very difficult to find a neck peg that is going to fit this one. You know, Tamashii said, nope, you're not using any other head for this figure. I literally spent 40 minutes trying to figure out what adapter to use, and almost none of them worked. The only one that consistently worked for me was the 3.0 to Daima that I got from AFFM Customs. Everything else either fit too loosely or didn't fit at all. Blu Tack, putty, paper, they're going to be your best friends if you want to do a head swap for this figure. That being said, once you actually get compatible heads for this body, this figure looks incredible. The Aaron OQ was the one that I was specifically looking forward to trying on with this body, and once I got it to stay on, oh my god, the doors opened. I heard a choir. I loved this body with the Aaron OQ heads. Also, the Super Saiyan Blue head looks amazing on this one too. I'm so excited for the future because now that we have the standard body mold, Tamashii Nations can use it for other releases. The only problem with this mold is that because it is a lot smaller, more petite, more of a short king type of size, a lot of the heads that were made for the previous Vegetas are not going to look good in this body. I really do think that this is one of the best Vegeta figures overall. If somebody asked me what Vegeta figure I would recommend for them to start their collection with, I would say 100% this one, hands down. If you don't want to wait until it gets released, check it out on AliExpress. I will link it down below. I will link down everything that I use available for purchase in this video down in the description. So if you're interested in buying any of the things that you saw today, you are able to do so using those links. Also, I will link down the materials in case you want to do a head swap but you don't have the proper neck peg. We're gonna have to do a DIY style, okay? So if you want them to fit, you must quit. You get what I'm saying. Now, if you're interested in the Ultra Ego heads that I was talking about earlier, I have a video breaking down which one is the most manga accurate. So if you want to check that out, it's right here. Just tap on that. Don't click on it. How many of you are going to click on it? How many of you are watching this on the computer right now? You're obviously on your phone. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.